I moved into this quiet, ridiculously overpriced neighborhood with one true love. My custom, matte black McLaren. That car wasn't just transportation, it was therapy, an escape, a trophy I earned. It didn't roar late at night, it didn't blast music. And inside the neighborhood gates, it never even touched 20 miles per hour. Yet, apparently, it sparked a very particular kind of unhinged jealousy in our HOA president. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your premium HOA drama. It started innocuously enough. A letter left on my windshield. Not a polite note. No, this was pure, uncut Karen energy. It read something like, "Your vehicle poses a threat to our community. It's far too fast, intimidating to children, and violates the spirit of peaceful living. Remove it within 2 weeks, or further action will be taken." I laughed hard. I even snapped a picture of it and added it to my Karen Chronicles folder. Surely, this was just a joke. I wasn't speeding. HOA rules didn't mention specific cars. If anything, the danger in the neighborhood was Karen herself, zooming 50 in her Range Rover while yelling at squirrels. Fast forward to day 15. I step outside with my coffee and freeze. My McLaren was obliterated. Not scratched. Not keyed. Wrecked. Windows smashed. Paint stripped. Tires shredded. Someone had gone full on Mad Max. I just stood there, stunned, staring at the ruin. Then, a neighbor approached, eyes wide. "Hey, I saw Karen and the landscaping guy messing with your car last night. Thought it was weird. Weird enough to call the cops," I muttered, but I stayed calm. Why? Because Karen had no clue there was a security camera hidden in my porch light. Slowly, methodically, walked back inside and pulled up the footage. There she was, screaming about vehicular threats, while swinging a hammer like she was auditioning for a horror movie. I paused it, grabbed my phone, and called my lawyer. "Karen wanted me gone." "Congratulations, Karen, you just upgraded me to a brand new car at your expense." She strutted home after her little vigilante stunt, probably feeling heroic. Unfortunately for her, I had two things she didn't have: legal rights and concrete evidence. I handed everything over to the police, timestamps, video, and a witness statement from Denise, who finally admitted that weird was criminal. The officer reviewing the footage said, "She isn't even hiding it. No mask, no gloves. Just Karen in her floral housecoat, swinging a sledge like it's gardening day on a Lamborghini." The HOA tried to do damage control. I got a formal apology from the board, not Karen, of course. She doubled down. When the cop showed up at her door, she claimed she was the victim. "That car is a missile on wheels," she barked. "I was protecting the community." She even brought up children's safety, warning that my car was tempting speeding. That's like blaming a blender for a bad haircut. She tried to weaponize the HOA handbook too. But guess what? Nothing in there about banning specific vehicles. I read it twice, just to be petty. Highlighted sections. Emailed the board. Subject line, Karen's favorite fictional rules. Annotated edition. By the time we reached the civil suit, I had the ultimate case. Property damage, trespassing, harassment, defamation. Thanks to her HOA-wide emails painting me as a reckless speed demon and emotional distress, my lawyer was practically drooling. Karen showed up in court armed with a clipboard and attitude. No lawyer, just blurry photos of my car parked legally in front of my house. I almost felt bad. Almost. But what sealed it? The judge asked, "Miss Karen, are you admitting to damaging the plaintiff's car?" She replied, "I was doing what the HOA should have done months ago." Silence. Sweet, sweet silence. One more hearing and the ruling would be final. Karen had absolutely no idea she was about to pay for the most expensive temper tantrum in HOA history. She waddled into the courtroom carrying the same overconfidence she had when demolishing my McLaren, like she expected the judge to hand her a medal for neighborhood safety enforcement. Meanwhile, I sat there calm, collected, sipping my court-approved water like it was a $400 bottle of champagne I'd soon be billing her for. The show started with my lawyer's slideshow. First slide, a high-resolution screenshot of Karen mid-swing with a hammer, looking like a deranged DIY host on a true crime special. The judge raised an eyebrow. The courtroom murmured. Karen cleared her throat like a loud cough could somehow cancel reality. Then came the emails. Oh, yes. Karen had blasted the HOA with accusations, labeling me a dangerous street racer, a public menace, and my personal favorite, the Fast and the Furious embarrassment. My lawyer printed each one on glossy paper for maximum impact. Karen barked. This is out of context. The judge peered over his glasses. Ma'am, it's your email. When Karen finally got to speak, she doubled down. That car, she claimed, was a threat to every child within 5 blocks. I calmly asked, so you destroyed it? She shrugged. I neutralized it, straight-faced. Even the court reporter paused mid-type to glance up. Then it was my turn. I explained how the McLaren had never exceeded 20 miles per hour inside the neighborhood. I showed decibel logs, GPS data, and testimony from neighbors confirming my tires had never squeaked a whisper of noise. Essentially, in a full Mythbusters episode on her nonsense. Closing arguments wrapped. The judge leaned back, exhaling. This is one of the more unusual cases I've seen, but the evidence is overwhelming. Miss Karen, you are liable for full damages. Karen blinked, confused. The judge continued. You will pay for the vehicle's replacement cost, including upgrades, court fees, and a fine for harassment. Her jaw nearly hit the table. Meanwhile, I sat there smiling. Why? Because I had already ordered the new car, with a surprise Karen wasn't ready for. 2 weeks later, my new McLaren arrived. Same matte black, same model, but this time with custom red calipers and, thanks to Karen, stitched into the leather headrests. Subtle? No, satisfying? Beyond words. Karen, on the other hand, entered financial hell. Replacing my car cost her nearly $300,000 after damages, legal fees, and the harassment fine. Rumor had it she sold her white Range Rover, took out a second mortgage, her husband quit the HOA board, her landscaper refused to return, and her poodle developed stress-induced alopecia. Karma was officially on overtime. I drove the new McLaren through the neighborhood at exactly 10 miles per hour, blasting the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Karen stood frozen on her lawn, watering roses with a dead-eyed stare. Watching me roll by like the final boss in a video game she utterly failed to beat, she tried to save face at the next HOA meeting, claiming she acted in good faith, and that the court system was biased against safety advocates. Nobody bought it. Denise even brought popcorn. The HOA unanimously voted to remove Karen as president. One board member even suggested banning her entirely for threatening the neighborhood's peace. As for me, I installed a new security camera system. Karen never came within 10 feet of my property again. She avoids eye contact like I'm Medusa driving a luxury serpent. And of course, I framed the original HOA complaint she wrote and hung it in my garage, right next to the still from the security footage of her swinging that hammer. Sometimes I just sit in the car, admiring the craftsmanship, reading the court receipt, and savoring the memory. I didn't win just because I got a new car. I won because I reminded everyone in that neighborhood, being HOA president doesn't make you judge, jury, and executioner. And if you try to destroy someone else's property over imaginary rules, you might just lose everything over a grudge against a gearshift. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.